Hello, Laffy here, and today we'll explore the terrifying and mysterious world of Vita Carnis. What if meat could live, breathe, and hunt? What if whole new life forms emerged from scraps of flesh? This analog horror project terrifies viewers with precisely this idea. In just a few minutes, I'll tell you what creatures inhabit this world, why they're dangerous, and what secrets they hide. Vita Carnis means living flesh in Latin. It's the name of a genus of creatures that began appearing on Earth in the 1930s. They are composed entirely of tissue and organs, lacking skin and conventional anatomy. At first, they were perceived as strange anomalies of nature, but over time, they began to develop, evolve, and spread. Each creature is unique, and together they form a terrifying ecosystem beyond human control. Let's start with the crawl, or Scandir carnis. This is the basic form of Vita Carnis, from which all other species emerge. The crawl produces special nodes, and from these nodes trimmings, meat snakes, and many other creatures can emerge. Essentially, the crawl is a foundation, a kind of fleshy soil that seeds the world of Vita Carnis with new life forms. Next are the trimmings. They can be considered the most harmless form. They feed on carrion, live in colonies, and generally do not show aggression towards living creatures. Sometimes they are even kept as a kind of pet. But don't be fooled by their harmlessness. When threatened, trimmings emit terrifying, shrill screams that can cause panic. The meat snake, or Mortuary carnis, is one of the most terrifying forms. It is a huge, snake-like mass of flesh that feeds on corpses. It does not prey on the living, but its size and strength make it extremely terrifying. Some specimens reach monstrous sizes and literally fill entire tunnels. Interestingly, the meat snake can reproduce without a partner, dividing into new organisms. Next comes perhaps the most terrifying species, the mimic. In their early stages, these creatures are small, but the adult form is a true nightmare. The mimic takes on a humanoid form, hides in the shadows, studies its prey's behavior, and then attacks. Its diet is exclusively human flesh. Imagine a creature that could lurk in your house, watch you for weeks, and wait for the right moment to attack. This is why Vita Carnis fans consider the mimic the most terrifying creature. There are also harvesters, or Congregentur carnis. Their role is not entirely clear, but they are associated with the process of harvesting and processing flesh. Harvesters presumably help spread the crawl's influence and transform organic matter into new nodes. They are a kind of workers within the Vita Carnis ecosystem. The host of influence, or Imperium carnis, occupies a special place. This isn't just a piece of meat, it's an organism that can affect the mind. It releases spores that alter the victim's consciousness, dominating them. One episode even featured an ad for a dietary supplement that turned out to be contaminated by the host's product. Thus, Vita Carnis can infiltrate human society, not only terrifying but also quietly dominating entire groups. Monoliths, or Colum carnis, differ from others in that they are enormous structures towering above the ground. Their main characteristic is the ability to generate electromagnetic pulses that disable technology. These creatures don't attack directly, but their influence disrupts the modern world, disabling electricity, communications, and technology. And finally, the most mysterious form is Singularity, or Verum carnis. This enigmatic species may stand above all others. Singularity can levitate bodies, manipulate radio frequencies, and even transform the dead into new crawl nodes. Its origins remain a mystery. Some consider it paranormal, others believe it to be alien. Singularity is likely the key to understanding the origins of the entire Vita Carnis genus. It's important to note that no single Vita Carnis species attacks its own kind. They form a unified system, with each species fulfilling its own role. Trimming scavenge, meat snakes process dead bodies, harvesters distribute nodes, and Singularity and host control behavior. Together, they form a terrifying yet coherent ecosystem. Humans, of course, have attempted to combat and study these creatures. An organization called CRCAS was created for this purpose, dedicated to research, documentation, and attempts at control. But even within this organization, a cult emerged, worshipping Vita Carnis and especially Singularity. Internal conflicts, information leaks, and cult interference have made the fight against these creatures even more difficult. The entire Vita Carnis series is structured like an analog horror film, the viewer is shown old documentaries, scientific videos, advertisements, or random recordings, which gradually come together to form a coherent picture. We see not only the monsters, but also humanity's reactions, the researchers' mistakes, and traces of cult involvement. This makes the atmosphere even more unsettling and realistic. Vita Carnis isn't just a story about monsters, but about a world in which flesh becomes a new life form, displacing humanity. There are no familiar rules here. Meat comes to life, organisms grow from nothing, and entire structures are subjugated by technology. And the more we learn, the more obvious it becomes that humanity is unprepared for such a threat. That's how the monsters of Vita Carnis can be summed up in a few words. Each species is unique, terrifying, and reflects different aspects of horror, from the silent carrion of trimmings to the terrifying intelligence of mimic and the mysterious power of singularity. This series is a true nightmare hidden in old footage and archives. If you like this explanation, give it a like and be sure to subscribe to the channel. This was Laffy, see you in the next videos. And don't forget, if you hear strange noises in the house, it might already be Vita Carnis.